Hey Ed, is it working?
Yeah, man. Got 3D head tracking and stereoscopic 3D with PlayStation 1 and VR. Shit, homie, it's working alright.
VRified Games.
Where am I? Oh! I don't remember anything. Who am I?
What's up, player? Yeah, living there talking head. Coming to you live with Daigo. Animated asshole Carl is here too. We're coming to you live with VRified Games. How we doing, Daigo? Fuck you, Carl.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey guys, yeah.
So tell me, motherfuckers, what is it we're doing today?
Well Ed, we got something special.
Man, every video we got something special, no?
Ah, this is special, man. This is one for the boomers out there. PlayStation 1 VR.
PlayStation 1 VR?
Yeah. This is something that wasn't really possible up until very, very recently.
You look familiar, but... but I just can't remember. Ark Thompson, huh? Though I can't remember anything, I know that this was no way for anyone to die. What?
You see, the reason being how the PlayStation 1 processed its 3D graphics, just down to hardware limitations, made it damn near impossible to get these games in stereoscopic 3D. Like, it's kind of possible, but there was literally no depth buffer at all, and you'd get a lot of artifacting and things overlapping, so it did not work. Now, go back a few years into PlayStation 1 emulation on PC, and we get the PGXP plugin. Now, the purpose of this plugin was to correct 3D graphics. Now, its use case was not stereoscopic. This is not what it was meant for. The idea behind this was to correct the 3D graphics. It would add a Z buffer in there, it would correct the depth, and this would result in more crisp, clear 3D graphics, and it would allow for a graphical fidelity much higher than what was previously possible with emulation and also on the original hardware. So fast forward a few years and the PGXP plugin has been updated, and these updates have allowed for stereoscopic 3D. Again, was not the original use case, but it is now entirely possible.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you have a 3D display or whatever, you're able to play PlayStation 1 games in 3D. That's absolutely possible now, but that's not what we're about. We're about getting these games in VR.
Yeah.
So Cartoon Carl and I decided to look into it, and what we could see is this would have to be done on a game-by-game basis. 60 FVR is theoretically possible. You could map a free camera, say to VR HMD, and get 6 degrees of freedom head tracking that way. Again, it's something we have to look into. It's only in the theory stages for us here, but it is possible. Right now, we have 3D FVR, so we needed to find a game to showcase this. And yes, we could have gone down the obvious route of, say, Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raider, Gran Turismo, any number of 3D games. But we decided on something a little outside the box. But I think you'll agree, after viewing the video, that the use case was absolutely spot on.
No, don't keep me in suspense, motherfucker.
Alright, so the game we are talking about is Resident Evil.
Oh man, yeah, Resident Evil with the Chris Redfield and the DualShock Director Cut Edition and all of that.
Well, no. I'm not talking about the mainline series, the original trilogy. No, none of those. They would not work well.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, they wouldn't. Simply because the backgrounds were 2D static images, so they were not rendered in 3D.
Oh, why the fuck you say Resident Evil then?
Well, there is a Resident Evil game that was fully rendered in 3D. Actually, the first Resident Evil game to be rendered in 3D.
The first Resident Evil game in 3D? Man, you talking about... You hit your head or something. That's Code Veronica, and that was on the Dreamcast.
Well, no. And I don't blame you. A lot of people do think that Code Veronica was the first Resident Evil game in 3D. It's not the case. It was actually preceded by another game 1 month before that release.
Oh?
Yeah, and it's also the first Resident Evil game to be in FPS. First person perspective shooter.
Resident Evil FPS? That's Resident Evil 7, man. Man, what have you and Carl been doing? Hitting each other over the head with a hammer?
No. There was another game that preceded Resident Evil 7 by 17 years. and has the distinction of being the first FPS Resident Evil game. Well, okay, to call it the first FPS is not entirely accurate. It's actually a hybrid. It's an FPS slash light gun title.
Light gun?
Yeah, this was the first Resident Evil light gun game also. It has the distinction of being the first Resident Evil game fully realized in 3D, the first first-person perspective Resident Evil game, and the first light gun Resident Evil game, all rolled into one. Resident Evil Survivor.
Survivor? Oh man, that game sucks.
Well, okay, if we're talking about the North American release, you're not entirely wrong. You see, outside of the US, the game had light gun support for the Namco GunCon, the peripheral made for Time Crisis. This mode did not come to the US. So if you've only played that version, yeah, you would be forgiven for thinking the game had really clunky controls and played badly. But if you had managed to play this with a light gun, yeah, it was damn near playable and a lot of fun. And it led to sequels. The first being Gun Survivor 2, Code Veronica, and then later a Dino Crisis game. Code Veronica, incidentally, would be remade again as a light gun title with Darkside Chronicles many years later on the Wii. So this started all of that. This game was a first for many within the Resident Evil series, so it deserves a bit more recognition, I think.
Okay, I'll still say it sucks ass.
Well, okay, let's look at what we got going on under the hood here, and see if we can change your mind on the game. So, Carl.
Yeah.
You want to explain how it is we got this up in 3D and VR and all that kind of good stuff for the viewers?
No, man, I'm tired.
Carl.
Okay, alright. Okay, so, I guess we'll start at the beginning, guys. So, look in the link in the description, you're gonna see a lot of different links. Okay, download them all, get them on your desktop. It's all good. First thing you gotta do is open up your Duckstation emulator. Make sure your settings look like the settings we have on screen. Now, as Daigon already mentioned, this will all have to be done on a game-by-game basis. But this is for the best results for Resident Evil Survivor, so go ahead and copy those. Alright. Once you got your emulator settings good, we can go ahead to the 3D fixes now. So as Daigon previously mentioned, we're taking advantage of the PGXP plugin to get stereoscopic 3D. Okay, so go ahead, you'll find a link in the description for the 3D fixes. Go ahead and download that. Put it anywhere in your desktop, open it up, copy the contents. Paste those in to your Duckstation emulator folder. That's it. Now, when you open up your Duckstation, it's going to be in side-by-side 3D. Okay. It's all well and good, but we want it to display correctly within our headset, so we're going to need a barrel distortion of some kind, so that the image looks correct inside our VR headset. Alright, so we're going to need to install Reshade. Okay, go ahead and open up your Reshade. Point it to your Duckstation.exe file. Alright, go ahead, next. When you get to this page, uncheck everything and check Super Dev 3D by Blue Sky Defender. On this next page, we just want barrel distortion. We are not interested in anything else. The actual stereoscopy is going to be handled by the other program. Alright. You will also see in the link in the description a separate folder called Reshade. Alright? Open that up, copy the contents, and paste that into your Duckstation. That is our personal settings. Next time when you boot up your game, it's going to be in side-by-side 3D with barrel distortion, ready for your headset.
Nice.
Yeah. But we're not done yet. We need to get that into the headset. So, alright. What we're going to need is virtual desktop. Now, I'm not talking about the Meta streaming app for standalone headsets.
Vincent.
Who is this? Vincent? Who's that? Wait. Am I Vincent?
Vincent, you are a murderer. A murderer!
A murderer? What are you talking about? Answer me! Who did I kill?
Now I'm talking about the original PC app that you can get on Steam or Oculus. Go ahead and open it up. Make sure the settings look like what we have on screen. That will ensure you get the correct image, the correct aspect ratio, and the correct distance from your eyes. Alright. Once you've done all that, get it into your headset. You will see that the 3D is correct, barrel distortion is correct, and it's now locked to your headset view. So the next step is head tracking.
Who are you?
What are you talking about, Vincent?
What did you call me?
Please, don't kill me. Helicopter! Vincent! This is all your fault. You made them send those cleaners to destroy this place.
Cleaners? What do you mean? Wait!
Alright, so we're going to use two programs for this. The first being Opentrack. Go ahead and open your Opentrack. Now, depending on whether you're using Oculus Link or Virtual Desktop, choose the correct API, be that the Oculus API or the Steam VR API. Alright, scroll down to mouse, make sure the settings look like this. Okay. Now we're going to get to the coolest software on the planet. This is the mouse injection software.
Mouse injection?
Yeah.
What?
It's such a shame that you must die here, Vincent. After all, this is the type of place where a cold-blooded murderer should die.
The use case for the software is not VR or 3D or any of that. The idea behind this was to inject keyboard and mouse into PlayStation 1 games so that they could be played as though they were PC FPS games. What that allows is perfect one-to-one precision between mouse and what's happening on screen. Now what does that is, it hooks directly into the game's memory, not the camera. It's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and how this helps us out here is it will allow one-to-one head tracking. So you will get damn near perfect 3D OF head tracking.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, alright, so have your Opentrack ready, your headset is tracking. Fantastic. Open up your emulator, start your game. You're going to see that on screen, it's going to be in side by side. Fantastic. Open up your mouse injection software. Okay, now this is important. How this works is it sees the first pointer device. More often than not, that's going to be your Bluetooth mouse or your wired mouse over Opentrack. That's not what we want. So, once you have the software started, disconnect your mouse. Okay? That will ensure that the first pointer device it sees is the Opentrack. Go ahead and press number 4 on your keyboard. You should now see perfect head tracking. Alright. Go ahead and reconnect your mouse. It doesn't matter now. Double click the mouse to get it in full screen. There you have it. Resident Evil Survivor. Side by side 3D. Barrel distortion. In the headset. And perfectly tracked. Now, another cool thing about the mouse injection software is it allows for a degree of control not possible in the original game. For instance, in the original version, you could not look up or down, only left or right. With mouse injection, you can look perfectly 360 degrees up, down, left, and right. Also, on the targeting screen, your pointer was limited to only that screen. You could not move off the screen in the original game. Now, in mouse injection, it just works. You can look around in 360 degrees, and everything is tracked perfectly. So this really is a magical software, and was the missing piece of the puzzle here. It allows for perfect 3DOF head tracking, previously unheard of in PlayStation 1 games. And as Daigo had previously said, 6DOF is theoretically possible, something we need to look into. That being, mapping a free camera to the HMD. Not impossible. Again, we're going to be looking at this all on a game-by-game basis, and we will come back with results as we find them, this game included. But yeah, that brings us to where we are today. Resident Evil Survivor in VR. Enjoy, you guys.
Yeah, so there you have it, you guys. Resident Evil Survivor, the black sheep of the Resident Evil family. Criminally overlooked, in my opinion. I mean, it does have the distinction of being the first 3D Resident Evil game, the first first-person Resident Evil game, and the first Lycon Resident Evil game, all in one package. Now, yes, the voice acting is terrible. Yes, the storyline is not amazing, but come on, that was part of the charm. If you enjoyed the original survival horror Resident Evil games back in the day, that was part of it, come on. Jill Sandwich, Master of Unlocking, that was all part of the charm. Let's face it, back in the day the Japanese weren't really concerned with stellar voice acting from its American cast. Basically, to get the job all you had to do was speak English, that was it. And 9 times out of 10 these actors had no idea what they were reading lines for, they were just reading lines on a page. So yeah, you got some kind of ham dialogue. And this is no exception. So yeah, if you're into retro gaming, this is part of the charm in my opinion. Alright, yeah, so I guess we're going to leave it there, you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any thoughts, queries, any critiques, put them down below. If indeed there are any games you'd like us to look at VRifying in the future, put those down below and we will get back to you presumably. Yeah, VRified Games out.
Yeah, okay, yep, see you all in game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, see you all in grave danger, man. Get the gun out. We're in grave danger. Shit.